name's Hugh. I'm originally from Kingston, Ontario, and I'm a tattooer, artist, compulsive drawer. My mom's an artist. Art was always around. Teenage years were wild, very crazy times. A lot of people doing bad shit around me. I was kind of adjacent to it, but never really got into the bad stuff, but it was always around. I knew a lot of criminals, stuff like that, but kind of always had that idea, maybe I won't steal this car, you know? Maybe PCP's not for me. All right, come on over here. Let's shave you down, boy. My family is pretty wild. Like, I have a cousin that's an Olympian, like gold medalist. There's scientists, there's doctors. My grandfather worked on the Aero project, if you know that, like that famous Canadian plane. Yeah, and my mom turned out to be the artist, and I just kind of kept doing that. I did end up in like an art class in a local high school. There was like three periods of a day, you know, just making stuff, painting, doing whatever you want. And a lot of us like were in like punk bands and stuff. So the teacher taught us how to do things like silk screen and shit like that. So I was making fanzines when I was a kid, printing my own t-shirts and patches for bands and putting on shows. I come from like a skateboarding punk rock background, basically. So it's all tattoos, which led into tattooing and stuff like that, because all my heroes had tattoos, you know? All right, ready to party, bud?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. I started hanging out in tattoo shops when I was probably about 17. That's when I got my first one. Barcode. Because you can only be 17 once. Because my friend was a piercer, so I'd just go hang out with him in the shop. So what does this tattoo mean to you? I kind of loved it. Like, art on the walls, these guys were, you know, fucking around, making money, joking around, having fun. It seemed like a really neat trade. It took me years to actually get into it, like didn't even know how to get an apprenticeship, didn't even know how to do anything like that. My mom, I always laugh, like, to pay the bills, she was a prison teacher, but growing up, she was a jewelry maker, especially like when we were kids. So she would go to like one-of-the-kind craft stores. All her friends were artists, so hanging out at art galleries and stuff like that is just second nature. There was art books everywhere. I've always drawn. It's normal to me to draw and have art books and paintings and stuff like that. So that was a big influence. I mean, I didn't take it seriously till I got into my 20s. When I decided, I went to art school and I was just working shitty jobs, going home, doodling, drawing. I was like, oh, I don't want to work these jobs anymore. Screw this. I'm going to go to art school. Probably in my third year of university, and I was working nights at a restaurant, just cooking. And I'd get off at around midnight, have a beer. And one of the owners from our local tattoo shop, this dude named Scott, who would do like full sleeves, backs, Japanese style, well known at the time. Me and him would always talk. And one night he was like, you should be a tattoo artist. And at the time, like, I think I lacked the confidence to really try it. And I was like, oh, somebody of that caliber thinks I should do this. I should give this a shot. So I put together some drawings and stuff, ended up meeting a guy and getting an apprenticeship. I mean, the same time I'd show Scott drawings and he'd just be like, those are shit. Those are shit. Draw it like this. No. My stuff, I always say it's definitely based in like American traditional or traditional tattoos, like, you know, thick, solid lines, black shading, some color. I like stuff a little bit creepier. Like, I'm a fan of like folklore and horror movies and stuff like that. And I like just putting a little spin on it, I guess. Like bats and wolves, and I do love doing roses too. Roses are always fun. All right, buddy, ready for some color?
Yep.
Well, black. I go down rabbit holes of like people that are really into what they're doing. Like I was tattooing this woman the other day and she was a professional flutist? What's the, flautist? Yeah. And she played with like orchestras and stuff. And I was like, what is that like? That's fascinating. She was like, I picked it up and just loved it and loved it. Even if somebody's like building a table and really into it, I'm like, that looks so cool, you know? When people are really into what they're doing, it's fascinating to me, no matter what it is. I've had a lot of weird clients. The clients always span the gauntlet. Sometimes you get really cool people, sometimes you get an asshole. Sometimes some people are really standoffish at first and you get talking, and then they're like your best friends by the end of it. That's one neat thing about tattooing. It's one-on-one. Like, you know, you end up just talking to people all day, different walks of life, getting the stories out of them, which I get out of my dad. Like my dad was one of those people that could just, we'd be on the bus and all of a sudden somebody's telling him their life story. And I'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, Dad, come on, we gotta go. It's like, what the hell? I had another guy who, he came in, he was one of those people, you know, those people that are just really aggressive. And like tattooed him, got him out of the shop, came by late, like another day, he was drunk, I wouldn't tattoo him. I could tell he was really mad at me. And then like, he was like hanging out in the alleyway for the rest of the day. And I was like, oh Christ, do I have to fight this guy? He finally left. Came back weeks later, apologized, telling me he was gonna fight me that day. I was like, dude, I just didn't want to tattoo you because you were drunk. It was wild. I always think I'm really boring because people are like, what are your hobbies? I'm like, drawing, which I do all day at work too. Like it's just a compulsion. I just have to make things. I think I love it. Like it's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's most stressful. You know, you go home, you're like, shit, I didn't put that line there, or I could have done this differently, but you want to do the next one better and the next one. And I had guys that were like in it for 25 years and they were like, I'm still learning things. I'm like, what a great job. Like, I think if you think that you know everything and you're the best, then what's the point? You know, it's one of those never-ending battles that you're just going to be like, okay, I want to keep pushing myself. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep getting better. And there's so many great tattoo artists out there, so you can never stop being inspired.